Hi there, welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF, and on today's episode we've got something which I consider to be a little bit special, and that is the Highland Park 21. Now, I've had this thing in my collection for a while now. If you've been following the channel and watching some of my live streams, you'll see me drink it there when I cover some milestones, things like that. This hit right here is the second most expensive bottle I ever bought, but I got it for a complete bargain even still. Now, I paid £100 in the UK for this, which was a bargain 2 years ago when I bought it. Now it's unreal. It's unfortunately been discontinued again, but if I'd have known that at the time, I might have been tempted to keep it sealed. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't know it was going to be discontinued, and I opened it and I've enjoyed this thing because it's been one of my favourite whiskies, not just of this year, but of my entire drinking career, let's say. Talk a bit more about the discontinuation of it. It's initially came out in 2007, but high demand for that, plus a couple of awards that it won, meant that it disappeared pretty quickly, so they took it off the shelves. It was a travel retail originally, and then they re-released it in kind of a 40% ABV iteration, which kind of put the whiskey world at a bit of an upset, as these things do. You know, 40% is the legal minimum in the UK, and to call it whiskey. So it kind of not great. Then it came back as this in 2012. This is the 47.5% ABV version in the old style bottles, and it hasn't got like the kind of newfangledy new cork thing like that. So it's, you know, it's a very recognisable brand if you have been drinking Highland Park for any length of time. But as I said, unfortunately, as of 2017, it's been officially discontinued again. High stocks, again, they say. It's meant to be so that they can keep the 12 and the 18 still on the shelves. And they're in those new, the new packages now, so the bottles kind of taper a little bit, and they're kind of the tribally things like that, you know, the Viking Honour and that sort of stuff. But they're still keeping on the upper aged ones for now. So we've got the 25, the 30, the 40 and the 50, which is a new one. All very expensive. So this thing, although it started to rise in price a couple of years ago, when I bought it for my £100, it should have been 150. And again, if I'd have known back then, I might have got the credit card out and bought several bottles of it. But these things happen. You can never really be too sure with whiskey whether something's going to go through the roof or be discontinued and be forever immortalised. Highland Parks have always been fairly expensive, but they've been getting worse and worse and worse. This thing now, if you've got a bottle of this, you might be getting £250 for it. But give it a few years, especially if the new 21, if they ever bring a 21 back, it isn't very good, or it's 40%. This thing's only going to get more expensive, increase in value. But as we'll get through to in the review, I think you should crack it open, but that's just my opinion. Let's get into the whiskey and see what I mean. Now, I first tried this thing at a tasting a while ago, and I had to pick up a bottle of it. I also did a video of it very briefly. I got a little 1ml sample of it from the Dram Team, my subscription service, and I tried that on camera. Obviously loved it, but it wasn't properly a review. So if you want to go check out that really old video, then I'll put a link up here. But let's get into the nose on this. Now, one more thing before I do the nose is that I did pour this out quite a long time ago. A bit of admin on this is that if you do have a dram of this, I heartily recommend that you leave it out on the side sitting for at least the age, at least 21 minutes. It's lovely straight out the bottle, but give it time to kind of breathe and open up, and it's just a fabulous whiskey. Okay, on the nose, straight away, you're getting this kind of initial mustiness. For me, there's no smoke on the nose, but there could well be in there. You know, they make a lot of heather peat up in Highland Park, so my nose is kind of acclimatised to kind of smoky, peaty whiskies now, so I don't really pick up smoke on the really light stuff. But I imagine there's a few ppms in there. If anything, you get that heathery note. It's very indicative of kind of Highland Park. If you've tried any like the 12 is not so much the heather because it's been overtaken by the younger malt. It's not young malt, but younger malt, and the slightly higher smoky levels. But it's really sweet dram. It's not the sweetest I've tried for sure, but it's very sweet, lots of honey, lots of toffee. Very nice, very deep nose. Let's try the palate. Just absolutely stunning. You really need to give it a minute because it's really, really bold flavour. It's a lot more bold than a lot of the 21-year-olds and above I've tried. You know, usually the age brings down those harsher, if harsh is even the right word, but those bold elements, they tend to be brought down. This has retained it quite nicely. Lots of sweetness, it's very spicy as well. And something really strange happens to me on the finish especially, which is huge. When all of that kind of spiciness and tingliness disappears, I get this kind of weird apricot flavour. I don't usually delve into notes like that, but I wanted to convey that because it's something that I've never got on any other dram, and I've never seen anyone else say that in their tasting notes as well, so it's probably just me. But yeah, I really can't understate how stunning this dram is. Easily one of my all-time favourites, and I am super sad to see it go. Even if it stuck around, the price was starting to get a little bit too much for me. The £100 was a push. I had to pretend that I didn't spend that much to start with, and then only revealed it later. But I did get it on a very good deal, and I really wish I'd bought more bottles of it, because I don't think, once that bottle's gone, I don't think I'll ever be able to try it again. But that's what happens, you know. I've got the 25 year on a sample sitting up on the shelf ready to go for next year, so hopefully I'll get to try that. I've never tried that one before. That'll be a good one. But very, very, very sad to see this one go. And now that the review is done, I'm going to put this at the back of my cabinet and only get this out for properly special occasions like good old YouTube milestones.